here. And then I'm going to hit my space bar and I'm going to turn and I'm going to look at Beth. And then I'm going to hit my space bar again and I'm going to get locked in so I look like I'm talking to you. And if you want to hit your space bar and turn a little bit my way and then lock your space bar again, then we can start, we can actually look at each other. Look to your left, keep coming, keep
I'm
coming, keep going.
coming.
There you go. Perfect.
Here. Wait.
Yes. And then hit the
Okay.
space bar again. Yep. Then hit the space bar again and
Look
you're locked
at
in.
Beth.
All
Oh my
right.
gosh.
Hit my space
Oh,
bar.
you're back.
I
Where'd you go?
know. What happened? Okay, let me try one more time.
Yep. Space bar. Use your mouse. Hit space bar and you're locked in.
Okay, let me see. No, it keeps moving me back when I hit spacebar again.
Okay. Well, we'll try.
Hold
And
on.
every once in a while, if you have to
Here.
manually crick your neck, that'll be fine too.
I'm good. I
So
could just leave it
y'all,
like not touch it.
y'all that are in the room, what I'd like to first of all is assess the room and ask you to type in the chat bar if you've actually, if you were here last week. If you're here last week for ICONversations, type in there. And if you were, throw something out there that, either an aha or a nugget or something that you learned or something that might encourage others to either ask questions or stick around and write notes and learn from how we've grown our businesses to the point where we're here as icons sharing with you. So on top of and as people come in the room, we might ask the questions again to poll the audience just to give an idea of who we're talking with. And at the same time, it's really hard to have a conversation with 157 people. So with that, our ICONversation is between us. So really, it's Beth Cardill's chance to learn and pick the brain of Keith Bliss and mastermind with me. And it's my job, Keith Bliss, to learn from Beth and ask her questions about her business. And as we have a conversation between icons, you're able to witness what we learn from each other and not have to actually ask questions or interject. You can actually just write a whole bunch of information down. You are the fly on the wall. You're eavesdropping in on this healthy conversation that we have. Would that be okay with you, Beth, that we do that?
That's fine.
Cool. So Beth, tell me a little bit about your business, your background, and then what it means to you to be an icon.
So I've been licensed in real estate for going on 15 years. I have a small team here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm just north of Dallas in Denton, Texas.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes, depending on the traffic. Up here. And so we primarily focus on Denton County. And I have 3 buyer's agents on my team. We have an admin and like contract close person. I can't do it without any of those people. I do the listings on our team. This year we're projected to finish out the year about 23 million to the end of the year. And we've sold about of that 78 units, and a few of those are leases total for this year.
Awesome. Great job.
How about you?
And well, thanks for asking. Let me roll over to that to my Google Docs sheet, and I'll get a live report for you here in a second of where we are to date. Only because I'm organized like that.
You're fancy.
Because I try to stay fancy. So we operate a small team in the Cary, Raleigh area of North Carolina. Cary is located between Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, most famously known for NC State, Duke, and UNC basketball, mecca heaven of ACC basketball. And yes, Jimmy Valvano lived right here. Coach K lives down the street, and of course Roy and all the rest over at UNC are nearby. Our team is myself and a buyer's agent and a full-time transaction coordinator, and we year to date. Someone has speakerphone on. getting an echo back in the background. Okay, there we go. Whoever has a speakerphone on their computer. And so year to date, we are at 93 transaction sides, and either under contract or closed. That's 29.2 million in volume, and I'm proud to say that our average, our total gross commission income from all of that is pretty staggering right now, and I'm humbled to say that it's well above 1.2 million. I won't get to an exact figure because some things are moving around, but it's really, really exciting that we're super hyper focused, super hyper local, looking into some development and redevelopment things with new construction and urban infill that has really helped our price point, but also helped us on our average transaction side percentage. Our average transaction side percentage, if you will, if you were to take it across all the volume and all the transactions as we calculate it, we're almost at 5% per transaction, which is crazy, amazing, and I'm humbled by that. But I, just want to, it's an anomaly right now, but it's pretty rock star like, and but otherwise, a couple of big deals, and we're still well into 800 to 900,000 in GCI. So enough about me. Let's get back to talking about being icons. So let's start with this. What does it mean to you to be an icon? What does it mean to you that we're up here giving back to 145 people here in the auditorium?
Well, for me, I used to work for the little red company that a lot of us came from.
Yep.
And I know you did too, because I
Of
remember
course.
you.
What's up, friend? That's right.
So I think I knew you back then even. I think we've been Facebook friends like
Oh my God.
100 years, which is probably not true, but
I would say likely 10 years. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. So I just like to be able to give back and to help others and to just, I'm not doing anything that's magic, and neither is my team, but it's just doing it, and I'm happy to help others. There's plenty of business out there for everyone, and I'm kind of like that in business as in life. Like I just want to share and help people as I can. So, like, be an icon and being able to help people. I'm not one to hide anything. I'll share whatever anybody wants to know, pretty much. I'm an open book. So, let me know what you want to know.
Well, I think one of the things that we share is that we came from an open book company, right? And this company is founded on being open book as well, if not in our ICE agreements, it talks about following the MREA model in building out your business. So there's plenty of reference, and there's no denying that there's a giant, byproduct of our former companies coming together here at EXP. When it comes down to icon status to me means I've put in all I can put into this company financially. I brought in the production financially to drive this company forward, first and foremost, and I'm very proud of that. That means we put in $16,000 in cap. We put in another $5,000 into transaction fees that at other companies we would have kept on paying, or that money could have gone into our pocket at a certain point within that calculation. Yet upon achieving icon status and upon being awarded the icon status, we received $16,000 worth of stock and ownership back in the company. And to me, that's just so huge because I effectively get paid to be here.
Right.
Super exciting. Super exciting. So tell me this. I've been in the Dallas market a ton this past fall actually, and it's not unlike our area. And there's just enormous amounts of growth and surge and things going on. And then it also seems to be a lot of similar challenges coming into our market like yours, with the iBuyer concept of Open Door and Zillow coming in next year. And our buddy Mark Spain, out of Atlanta, is actually already in our market doing the iBuyer, guaranteed purchase program before you even put it on the market type scenario. What type? How is your Before we get into that, how is your business this year versus 2017 at this point in 2017?
So, well, for me, I mean, I came to EXP last year in May. And so I've been here a year and a half now.
Yep.
When I came here, I partnered with another big agent and we were together all last year. So my numbers for my team this year are very different than my giant team last year. But it's been, I mean, the opportunities in real estate are just phenomenal. DFW is great. I will say it's slowed since July here in our area. I think we're going back to sort of a time, if you will, with the interest rates rising and all, more like 2012-ish time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been, I mean, I love real estate. I love selling houses. Like, I don't just recruit, LOL. But
Well, and
I
that's why we're icon agents. We're in high productivity mode 75% of our day, every day.
right. I mean, that's what I focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to learn from everybody else too. And I need to learn how to recruit. And I get so busy with touching my sphere and touching my people and trying to grow, our business. I don't sit down and just try to, like, I don't have a lot of patience, which is my downfall. So I don't nurture as well as I should probably with other agents.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll nurture all day my client, and work with them. So I mean, yeah, the production I guess overall is down, but if I averaged it out per agent and what we did, we're probably higher and happier this year.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
and of course, this is the first year I was eligible for Icon, and my cap starts over in December, and became an Icon in June of this year.
That's awesome. Well, yeah. So yeah, when we're up here, truth be told, if we're up here talking about our challenges, the challenge, for an icon, is that we are forced with growth, retention, staying on top, maintaining a production pace, depending on, and Marguerite, we will answer that question in a minute. We talked about that when we were talking about ourselves just a little while ago. As a reminder, and we can type in some answers while we're talking as well, Beth, into the chat bar if you see one that you'd like to answer to. So we both operate small teams. We've talked about our production. If anyone wants to describe any of what we're doing, you can put it in there as well. That's fine. I don't mind if people take what we have said. But yeah, let me stay on that point when it comes to that challenge, right? We came to this company so that we can create a long-term exit strategy and a long-term passive income stream by helping the company grow and bring like-minded agents over like ourselves to the company, right?
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
so let me ask you this: how did something shift or transpire in your other environment that caused you to look elsewhere, or did someone from EXP cause you to look elsewhere?
It was kind of like the perfect storm for me, if you will. Um, I had,
So some agent just got lucky and called you at the right time?
well, I don't know if, well, so at the old place, like
Yep.
I am into training. I'm very into education. I lead the board at our local realtor board. I lead the education uh, committee. So I'm pretty into making sure I know everything I can know on education wise for real estate, and
Hmm.
I train my people as such. And I had two admins taken from me within the company to go to different teams, and like with no I guess and nobody coming to me with any real care or concern about just pulling them away from me, or if there was a problem, what that was. And I just got really frustrated by that. And I had tried to talk to the regionals about it, and I was frustrated with the team leader there, and I just said, "Hey, I want to talk to you." Nobody could ever schedule a meeting with me. I just got frustrated, so I did a
And
lot
and
of
you were
research.
and you were a top agent,
Oh yeah, 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 for sure.
right? So
Um,
you're top five in your office,
right.
and yet leadership didn't have time to meet with you.
Yeah, I mean, once I put my money in, my cap money, if you will, they didn't care. They were done. So okay. Um, and then I just went and did a lot of research about
Hmm.
different brokers in the area, and and then I met with Sherry Elliott. She's the one who recruited me.
Yep.
And I mean, she and I have known each other a long time. We're, you know, like, not
Your
super
peers,
close friends,
but your
just
peers, but your
friends
peers, but your peers. Yeah.
and peers.
Yep.
And she had always, like, super annoyingly posted stuff on Facebook talking about EXP, and just continually doing it constantly. And finally, I said, okay, I'm ready to talk to you. And because she's the only one I really heard, if you will, at EXP saying, this is a great company, come check it out. So
Hmm.
I got a hold of her and I said, okay, let's check it out. Let me check it out. And the thing about EXP that was different to me than all the other brokers out, the power of what if. What if what they're saying is true? And what if I could make that happen? I.e., get that $16,000 worth of stock back once I do all the sales I'm going to do, which was my full
Right.
intent. And
Right.
is this company for real? Would they really do that? Because I've never had a company give me something back. And like, it's already always a tooth pull to get profit share, even like before then. So now it, yeah, you're just like, really? Why would you go somewhere else? When you're producing that kind of volume.
So, 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 so let me unpack one little thing that you said. When you said you were doing research, so you were researching other companies because there was absence of value in your current environment.
Right. I mean, it was kind of like shopping for insurance, sadly. I mean, sadly or not sadly, you feel
Yep.
like you owe it to yourself to shop around once in a while.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I did.
And so was one of your thoughts to just become your own broker?
Yeah. I just hadn't had all the classes, and I didn't want to wait.
Right.
Again, remember that patience thing about me? Like,
Hmm.
I'm just done. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, Lisa. I mean, I just didn't know. I just didn't know if I wanted to dig into the broker bag of worms, if you will. I'm pretty close to having my broker's license. I just need to do it. But again, I don't have a lot of patience to sit and wait for things. So to do things. And yeah, that's I I guess I did think about a broker, but I thought this would work, you know, based on everything I was had reviewed and was told. And I went in with this with a lot of thought and a lot of, you know, calculations, and kind of worked it all out in my with my team, and in my mind, and on a, you know, spreadsheet, and it seemed like it would work if everything they're saying is true.
Right. Well, and I think that's a great way to look at it because so many are hesitating on making the move because of the what if. So many, and many of us were absorbed in large social network groups and large uh, company events that it was really hard to figure out. It was really hard not to create cliques. It was really hard to not have small groups. What I found of extreme value to me is the ability to step right in, be resourceful, help patch holes and fix problems and turn lights on and shut, you know, and shut things down or turn things around and just be part of this growth and evolution of this company is certainly such a gift. And you know, I proudly wear the icon badge, knowing that that I know I've done my part, you know, from a financial perspective to help the company grow, to help all of the people that are upline from me come home with some passive income, courtesy of my transactions. And I know exactly where that goes versus in the past, I didn't know where that money went. I didn't know what it was for. And the transparency that we have and the ability that we have to know and explaining to our clients the value of working with us. You know, one of my big ahas as we speak. A lot of my great ideas come out right when I'm talking and sharing. I mean, Beth, if the two of us just shared what you just said and what I just said to our clients, think about
Right.
this. We share this to our clients. Say, you know, it's so great you're working with me. Can I tell you why I'm with EXP? Can I tell you what's so important about that to me? And share the story with them, right? They will tell their friends, they will tell other people they know that are going into real estate or thinking about real estate or that are real estate agents or have other friends that are real estate agents, as so long as we are so enthusiastic that we share it with our clients, right? And when I just realized that, you know, I can tell them where their commission goes. When the 20% goes to my broker, I know where it goes. It goes to other agents that have helped grow this company. It goes to other people's livelihoods. That's a super powerful thing to be able to tell people. It doesn't go into national advertising campaigns. It doesn't go into brick and mortar shiny buildings. It doesn't go to conferences and regional meetings and Christmas parties. It goes right to the agents that brought me into the company. That's super powerful. You know, knowing, I'm going to write this down real quick. I know where my commission splits go. Because we do. It's extremely transparent in EXP Enterprise,
That's true. And we
right?
know what
So
yeah, we know what that revenue share is going to look like from the
that's right.
people we've recruited. I mean,
That's right. You know
I,
what?
I
Can I tell you something funny?
yeah,
And this is where it becomes a conversational versus a presentation. And this is what we did last week is I didn't I pressed the issue enough to ask the other agents, the other icons, if they were comfortable enough that we have a conversation amongst ourselves. Because as we have a conversation amongst ourselves versus acting salesy and presenting to everybody in the audience, then we're really going to say something that matters, right? So I know where my commission splits go. Do you? EXP Realty underneath that. That's going to be my Facebook post in just a little while.
It's awesome.
You know, hashtag EXP Realty proud.
I did a recruit meeting yesterday with a particular agent. I'd be super excited to get over here. And I just pulled up my phone and showed them my EXP Enterprise and logged into my revenue share. And I mean, not to show them the number because it's
just to show that it's transparent, that it's right there.
Just to show, look, I know how much money I'm going to get on the 21st from this company. Do you ever see that in your company? Because I never could figure out how to work that one out. Like, but this one I can see what we're getting. Like, it's pretty cool. You just don't, I mean, we just have such cool tools where we can just refer to it and just show them, look, it's a click of a button. It doesn't have to be this as difficult as it is where you're at, you know?
Right. You know, it is amazing if we just take the time to slow down and explain to the people that are right in front of us about why this is important to us, then it will attract more conversations to us. I mean, I believe that as we put our energy into the universe, it comes back to us, right? And as you know, and there's going to be times where you're going to pour a whole lot of information into someone, and then they're going to join through someone else at a different time because you didn't call them back, or they felt more obligated or connected to someone else. That's okay. In the end, it's okay, because it's not really a matter of if, it's a matter of when they're going to get here, right? And so as we take that skill set, because I think what you talked about earlier is that you do a great job in nurturing, developing skill, and translating things for your team and for other agents through your involvement in your MLS board, through the education committee. And you recognize that skill set is already there to attract agents and meet with more agents, right?
Hopefully. Well, I mean, I guess I need to look at that a little more. I mean, I try to think of making, it's important to me that agents know what they're doing and like can present well and be knowledgeable and know what to do and know their information. And yeah, I guess I need to tap into some of those folks. I don't want to, yeah, I could do that more.
Well, you know, it's interesting because some agents are never going to know what they're doing, and they're going to still do really well in this business. A lot of agents won't know what they're doing and won't ever know what they're doing, and probably just shouldn't be in the business. Right?
True.
Right. So we have, so then we have the rest that we want to pour into, right? And assessing who you're going to pour into and what you're going to help them with, and how you can help them either at a broader level or extremely direct level, is amazing within this format and framework. When I had to explain to a builder that I was just driving around our downtown talking about 30 to 50 different opportunities that we're going to have over the next 18 months to build houses on. That's not a small conversation. Yet I said, look, we've got to cut this short. I've got to be in front of a couple of hundred people in an auditorium in 5 minutes. And he just laughed. And I said, no, seriously, I've got to go do that right now. Come on to my office, follow me, and I'll show you. So when I first came in, the leadership meeting was still going on, yet when I landed in the welcome area, I hit the ground running, literally with the shift button and forward, and ran all the way up into the auditorium and ran all the way down and jumped up on stage, and then quickly ran off to the stage to the side. And I turned around and said, look, I just did that in front of 500 people. And he laughed and he really enjoyed it. He goes, And then finally I said, okay, I'm getting pulled on, so I've got to go. And I just covered up the mic for a minute, and he fist pumped me going, dude, that's some really cool stuff right there.
Oh,
He didn't
that's
say the word,
fun.
and he didn't say the word stuff either. He was like, whoa, you meant like 5 minutes from now, you're going to be in front of hundreds of people. It was a big impact because, he knows a whole lot of real estate agents, a whole lot. So half the time that we're sharing it, we don't necessarily have to directly share it with an agent. We can share it through our preferred providers, our lenders, our escrow, our attorneys, all the our handymen, everybody that's out there is where the education of EXP and the power of it comes from. I just got a sample, or a proof of doing a wrap on my vehicle. And the very first thing I noticed about it is that EXP isn't big enough. It isn't big enough. So I'm excited to go back and make sure that we're doing that piece.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. And make sure that the 2019 goal is to have that moving truck that I've never had. We're going to use it for lots of things other than just a moving truck. It'll store stuff a lot. But have a moving truck with EXP all over it. Got to get that word out there. So what else, so Beth, couple of questions that were asked last week. I won't get into all of those the same way, but if Hank were here to moderate as well, what's the one question you would hope he wouldn't ask you?
Oh my gosh, that is a hard question. Well,
or put it this way,
gosh,
you and I are sitting at the bar about to have a beer, and I say, "What do you pray to God I don't ask you?"
dude, it's a way easier if I'm drinking.
That's why I
Um,
said it that way. Exactly.
I think that, like, one question. Dang, I'm a pretty open book, but it would probably be something about
Like within your
how many
business.
people are in my downline, probably, because that's not as strong as I want it to be.
Got it.
How about
Got it.
you? What's that question if I ask you the same thing?
Probably how, of my top 500 people, how many people I've either talked to or met with this year.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Right. Because my answer was 20%. And I was being honest, and I spend my time habitually nurturing a certain group of relationships. And then I forget about ones that were strong when another one comes into my world that I have to spend more time with or pay more attention to. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's kind of like, how do I describe this? How many shirts in your closet or blouses were your favorite blouse at one time?
And now you never look at them?
Right. And then all of a sudden it's like, how far back in the closet did that favorite blouse go? Right. What happened? It's either the style, the fit, color, the mood, whatever it is.
We
So what I mean by that is, as we nurture relationships with agents, it's the same way, right? As we nurture relationships to attract them into the EXP world, are we looking for, everyone to look the same and feel the same? Are we thinking about that agent, that this isn't the time of year to have that conversation, like in your closet, this isn't the time of year to wear a certain piece of clothing? Does that make sense? In other words,
yeah,
it's just a way to look at it. Like we look at our database and how we look at our, agent attraction list. Like, do you keep a list
I
of
do.
people?
I
Right?
actually do.
How many people are on that list?
I think I've got 10. I probably should have quite a few more. Uh, and it's anybody that's ever expressed any interest, and I haven't touched them as much as I should. And I think all those people should be in your CRM tool, just like your clients, and you just make it a no less than every 30-day thing
Right.
and talk to them. And I need to be better about that. This year, Patricia Young and I are for 2019, and the projections are going to launch a lunch and learn to try to help a lot of people recruit here in our area.
Awesome. Awesome. I don't know if you saw my Facebook Live uh, video with Patricia and Wendy when I came to town for the Texas OU game uh, at the Cotton Bowl, the first time around that they played this year, and we got together and masterminded at a really cool place with amazing huevos rancheros, which is one of my favorite things to get when I'm in Texas, and yeah, there's so many different places that you can find venues to do that. That's going to be really awesome.
Well, I mean, when you come to DFW, I'd love to know you and anyone else. And I'd love to mastermind with whoever would like to mastermind and try to figure out how we do things better, how we make things happen, that kind of thing. Right now, I think Patty and I are our first lunch and learn uh, thing is January 17th. And we have to hammer out the details. And we would love to have, anybody can bring whoever you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be in Flower Mound if people are interested in that. And this is new for us, and you know, we're hopefully going to reach a different audience than some people do. Where they haven't looked at it before
Right.
and
So
they're
now,
interested.
are you going to set that up through sponsors being involved in that, or are the agents that are coming going to pay for their own lunches?
I think we'll have sponsors.
Yep.
And I also think that we're going to throw something with it, like a little social media segment or something to help draw people.
Yep.
And then if they want to talk about EXP, we can do that. We're here for you. And um, we'll go from there,
Mm-hmm.
and anybody can bring anybody, and anybody in our area could bring somebody to that and
That's so great.
help grow that. Like I'm happy to help anyone that needs it.
That's
And
awesome.
that's just sort of that's on one of my plans for, like we have already done our goal setting as a team. And let me just note that if anybody hasn't done goal setting yet for next year, please do what you're going to do next year. And that just happens to be in our goals for next year is that expansion or not expansion, excuse me, but just that, growing our recruitment base, if you will.
Sure. Sure.
And I want to
Absolutely.
help my agents do that as well. But that's in our plan.
Now, let me ask you a question. Would you have ever had the freedom or autonomy or mindset to do lunch and learns when you were affiliated with any other company?
No. I do lunch and learns currently through our board to teach classes or to give people a panel to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just been since this year. And I just started doing it in another subject, obviously. But yeah, no, I'd never seen that before. And why not?
Isn't it cool that you have uh, that team leader hat that you can put on when you want to, that yet at the same time you're a producing agent? It's
I
really
think it's
cool.
cool. Yeah, I think that there's zero drama. I think that's one of the coolest things. I get people try to people actually appreciate my time at EXP. Like I had a gal call me yesterday, wanted to know about a certain listing she had and what could she do. And she
Mhm.
certainly was like, thank you so much for taking your time to do this for me. I mean, nobody's a time sucker here in this company, if that makes sense.
Oh, it
Where
does.
when you had an office sitting in a main building with everybody, all the agents would come and just try to suck your time up and just, it's different. And I love that. I love that. And that I can do my own thing and that nobody is, I'm laughing at the D thing, the D Lisa comment. Um, and that nobody's just trying to talk to me all day long, I guess I could say.
That's right.
And that I'm free to move about and do what I need to do and make things happen.
That's right. I mean, you can either we can get into a whole topic on behavioral analysis and behavioral styles because you can also be a low I or in the AVA world you could be a low vector 3 and patience is something that uh, many people have. I have not met a very patient icon agent yet.
What is that? What's patience?
Right, exactly. And so when it comes down to okay, well let's see where we are. Okay, we're at 12:47 Eastern Standard Time. Why don't we do this? Why don't we throw get a couple of questions up there um, that that we can talk about. And we
Okay.
just talked about what Mike just, and I like how Mike and Lisa and y'all are putting comments in the chat bar because that really helps put together pieces that people can see or touch base later. Especially, it helps get your name out there. So I really appreciate all of you that are typing in anything there. If you have any questions directly for us or directly about uh, about whatever one of your struggles might be that you're not, maybe you're capping yet you're not getting to icon. That's there's a big stage between those two. um, and so um, uh, Barbara, I'm a very patient person. How do I break that cycle?
Don't
um,
break it. It's a good quality.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Barbara, and it's interesting you say that, Beth, because what I've been told in the past is if you feel like you don't have any difficulties, then tie one hand behind your back for 4 hours and see if you can last. If you can last 4 hours with one hand, then you are super patient. Otherwise, most people won't be able to last, knowing that perfectly well that they can use their other arm and their other hand. Then they'll force a little bit more uh, resourcefulness. What Rebecca? Great question. Do you see this question, Beth?
The one thing you feel's contributed to your success more than anything else?
Yes.
So for me, one thing that's contributed to my success are probably, this is so crazy, but the one, so other than selling houses, I do flips and rentals too. One thing that launched me really, 4 years into my career was I went to a seminar about that topic of growing rental property back before the boom of foreclosures hit really.
Yep.
And
When
I and
when you could still fog a mirror and do no doc loans and buy rental properties.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Well, I mean, the way it was taught to me was different than I took on the
Hmm.
thing, but I mean that single class, even though it told me a lot of, gave me an idea of something and told me nothing at the same time, I was able to fill in the blanks enough that I created a whole another revenue stream. Just based on that one class, I changed how I did a lot of things. As far as success in retail real estate, like it's literally the missing puzzle piece in my life, what it was at that time. And I love it. Like like what I didn't know I could miss. I didn't know I was missing something, right? And just, the guy who recruited me into real estate in the first place changed me, those two things. How about you, Keith?
Um, well, I think that's so awesome that you recognize someone that that there was someone, right? That someone said you need to come into this. You need to come into this business. Let's see. Tried and true. Uh, Tried and true. My biggest success in real estate in the last 17 years has been my commitment to for sale by owner conversations. Because uh, when I heard the acronym fastest source for business opportunity, um, between open houses and for sale by owners, I've made the majority of my income in my career from those two places, not from a super slick website, not from anything else. Open houses, sale by owners, and sign calls off my signs. When I was with my very first company, I got to sit on phone duty and cover on vacations when everybody was. I mean, during holidays, I would cover during holidays, and I'd get all the calls off of 100 agents. Times 300 or 400. So 300 or 400 signs at a time were out in our marketplace, and the calls would come in to me. So,
Yeah.
so understanding how to quickly connect with someone, script practice, understanding what questions to ask, understanding where to take the conversation next, and learning how to help people, is my number one. In my career, I've made over $1 million in gross commission income from for sale by owners. I've tracked it.
That's awesome.
I mean, and when you put 10,000 hours into anything, which when it comes down to prospecting and making those calls, I've got 20,000 plus hours into for sale by owner conversations, and I've tracked that as well. I didn't track it. I didn't track it in my first 3 years in the business because it was a daunting task. Yet as I look back, it's very easily and safe for me to calculate how many hours were put into that. So if I were to say up front when you're starting your career, for sale by owner conversations is the number one place to go. Can't After all, they are the agent and they will call you back, and you don't have to call them to get their listing. You can call them to build a relationship to either help them, or then they can decide later to help that you're the person to help them.
So I think that what you could do to make a difference immediately and start over, or what would you do? Things I didn't know back then that I
Ooh,
should have
yeah,
known.
yeah.
Start a database. Like as soon as you meet someone, start a database and start touching them. When you get a lead, you reach them within 5 minutes or less, and you don't stop until they tell you to go away. And you're persistent with them, but you don't annoy them. And like you've got to find some way to engage them and listen to them. Don't talk about your kids, your dog, your whatever. Talk about their thing, their kids, their dog, their whatever. Like always make it about them. That's what I try to do. But the database thing, if I had started that then, who knows where I would be now. But like but I think you can start it at any time. Like just make sure that you are responding to people within a certain, do not dilly dally. They want fast responses and they want to know you care about them. And 5 minutes to respond to them, get your database going. I've never worked FISBOs, so that's a cool thing that Keith is doing. To answer Barbara about the patient thing, or how do I get less patient? I mean, you focus on goals and objectives, keep a relationship business-like, argue facts, not feelings, be organized, and ask questions directly. Don't beat around the bush. That's what I think you do to get less patient. If that makes sense.
Yes. So earlier, Beth, I shared where our production level is today, and 2.5, well, geez, yeah, 2.5 years ago, I, right in the middle of the summer, said, honey, things are going to get tight. She said, what do you mean it's June? I said, things are going to get tight. She said, why? I said, because we're going to focus on a geographic area of town. We're going to go hyper local, and we're going to get rid of running all over creation, doing business. We're going to get very focused, and it's going to take a little while to change or shift our business. So I think that a lot of us coming into the business today say, want to do any business anywhere. When you first get in the business, I'll do a deal anywhere. Well, in the end, becoming an expert, becoming an economist is a process. And it's also based on focusing in on what you know best. And either that's where you live or base yourself from, or frequent through your family or schools or whatever else. So Ray is asking back, how do you become hyperlocal? Here's what it comes down to. I took a 1 mile radius of where my office sits. You can type this, you can look this up, 115 Dry Avenue, Cary, North Carolina. 115 Dry Avenue, Cary, North Carolina. I'm right in the center of the old part of our downtown, not the geographic center of town, because our town is shaped a little bit differently than that. Yet within a 1 mile radius of my office, there's this little beltway that loops around. And so what I did is I focused in on everything going on within that area and began to seriously communicate through a local hyper-focused Facebook group, through calling every for sale by owner, circle prospecting that specific area of town, knocking on doors, creating relationships, and getting signs up in one specific area. And as I did that and built that out, when the sign calls came in, a whole bunch of sign calls on it, and you're not an expert out there and you don't want to go out there and convert anymore, then it really doesn't matter. When I'm within a mile radius of the sign, neighbors start noticing my sign, start driving by my location, seeing our logo there as well. And all of a sudden, all of these things clicked. I hope that helps a little bit, Ray. In other words, people want to know that, when it comes down to these websites, our goal in 2019 is to have hyper local websites that only have listings within that geographic area. We don't want websites that you can see 3,000 available listings. You know what I'm saying, Beth?
Yep. And when you have open houses, put lots of directionals out. They'll be like, oh my God, she's everywhere.
They think exactly. For a corrugated open house sign at your local MLS shop, it's like $5 to $7, depending on the style or color or size, right? You put up 30 of those signs for $250. That's the best advertising you're going to get all weekend.
Right. We have branded ones, but yeah, same thing. I mean, but if they see that logo enough, they're like, wow, they're everywhere. And I have a neighborhood that I worked on that hyper local thing with this year. Sorry, I know I've already planned. I'm already thinking about 2019, y'all. But yeah, that's what they see now. And I get those comments now at the holiday parties. You're everywhere. Not really, but like the fact that you think I am, that's the goal you're going for.
Right.
in the beginning.
That's right. Right now, when I change my branding over, or change my signs out, if anyone's on the EXP Signs Facebook page, you can scroll through or search for my photo of my new sign. When I changed my signs out, it took me less than a day and a half during my normal day of business, not to just to change the signs out, but actually take the panels off, put the new panels on the sign frames, and flip them all around in a day and a half, because it was all within a mile radius of my location. So yeah, there are tons of benefits. When you think that only being in one part of town would discount what Beth just said, but when your signs are nearby each other often, that's when people say, wow, you're everywhere. Absolutely agree.
Right.
Good stuff. Hey guys, we're at the top of the hour. It's a couple minutes after. We've got another session that's reserved in this room. So I hate to ever cut you guys short.
It's okay. Leadership went over. Leadership went over. Leadership went over. So
it's a domino effect, right? Even in the
yes.
crowd.
Yes. Yes. We're only about 52 minutes in.